All right, let's dive in. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to help you crack the code of local SEO. We've got this awesome source, SEO tips for location-specific websites, and we're going to squeeze every single drop of SEO goodness out of it. Get ready to discover how even tiny changes to your website can make a huge difference in those local search rankings. So first things first, let's think about your business. Do you operate mostly online? Or do you have a physical spot where those customers come walking in? It might seem basic, but that difference changes your SEO game plan right from the get-go,
Oh,
right?
it's a huge difference. In a
Yeah.
service area business, like your plumbers, your electricians, even a mobile dog groomer.
Mhm.
They come to the customer, right? Their location is wherever they happen to be working that day. But your brick and mortar businesses, like a restaurant or a boutique,
Hmm.
they've got that fixed address that customers visit.
So that's got to impact how their websites are set up, right?
Big time. For service area businesses, each city they serve should have its own page. I mean, think about it. If someone searches locksmith in Malibu, search engines got to know right away that your business can handle it.
Makes total sense. But how would you actually structure those pages?
Well, our source has this great locksmith example. They suggest this really clear folder structure on the website. Something like example.com sources service-area Malibu or Santa Monica. It's super straightforward for Google to understand. And it helps customers find what they need quickly, too.
So it's not just keywords, it's about organizing the site so it makes sense, both for search engines and for actual people.
Exactly. And once you got that structure down, you got to fill it up with location-relevant content. It's not enough to just talk about your services in general. You got to show you get the specific needs of people in each area you serve.
Okay, I'm seeing how that would be important. Could you give us an example of what that might look like?
All right, imagine you run a plant nursery, let's say in Phoenix. You wouldn't just write blog posts about any old gardening tips, right? You'd focus on plants that do well in that desert climate, water-wise landscaping ideas, maybe even how to deal with those pesky scorpions in your garden.
Huh. That's a great example. You're showing potential customers. Hey, I'm not just some random nursery. I know the challenges of gardening here in Phoenix.
Exactly. It's all about relevance and authenticity, which, by the way, Google really values these days. And here's where things get interesting. There's this way to make that connection even clearer for search engines. It's called schema markup.
Schema markup. That sounds kind of intimidating, to be honest. Can you break that down for us?
Sure, it's basically a way to add labels to your website's content that search engines can easily understand. Imagine you're pointing to your business name and telling Google, hey, this is my business name. Or you're highlighting your address and saying, this is where you can find me.
So it's like giving Google a cheat sheet to understand your website better?
Bingo. And the best part is, you don't have to be a coding whiz to use schema markup. Tools like ChatGPT can actually create the code for you. Our source talks about Bob's Car Barn and how you can ask ChatGPT to make both local business and service area schema. It's pretty amazing.
ChatGPT just keeps getting more and more impressive. Okay, so we've talked about service area businesses. What about those businesses with a physical storefront? What are some SEO must-dos for them?
Well, for brick-and-mortar businesses with multiple locations, a dedicated page for each one is super important. And don't skimp on the details either. Include store hours, directions, parking info, photos of the staff, even unique services or products at that spot.
I can see how that would make a difference for a customer if I'm searching for a store. I want to know exactly what to expect at that specific location.
Right. It's about giving each location its own personality and making the whole experience better for the user. This attention to detail can really make customers choose you over a competitor who just has a generic locations page.
Now, what if a business wants to reach people outside their immediate service area? Can SEO help with that too?
You bet. Let's say you have this amazing bakery right in downtown San Francisco. You could attract people from nearby cities, like Oakland or Berkeley, by creating pages optimized for keywords like best sourdough near Oakland or artisan pastries near Berkeley.
That's smart. So you're basically catching people who are willing to travel a bit further
Yeah.
for something special.
Exactly. It's all about understanding what your target audience is searching for and making sure your website shows up in those searches. And speaking of making it easy for people to find you, let's talk about the power of Google Maps.
Oh, Google Maps is my go-to when I'm looking for local spots. It's so visual and easy to use, especially on my phone.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. Putting a Google map right on your website, especially on your contact page or location pages, is such a simple but effective way to guide people to your door.
It's like giving them a visual roadmap.
Exactly. And that brings us to a key element of local SEO, the local pack. Have you ever noticed how when you search for something like coffee shops near me, there's this box at the top of the results with 3 businesses highlighted?
Oh, yeah, I see that all the time.
That's the local pack. And getting your business featured there is like winning the local SEO lottery. Prime real estate in the search results. While there's no magic formula to get there, a strong Google business profile is absolutely essential.
So it's not just about individual keywords anymore. It's about having this whole online presence,
Okay.
especially on Google.
Right. Google wants to see that you're a legit business with a good reputation. That means having a complete and accurate Google business profile with photos, customer reviews, and even posts about your latest offerings. Think of your Google business profile as your online storefront, where you showcase the best of your business to potential customers.
Okay, so we've covered website structure, location-relevant content, schema markup, Google Maps, and the power of a strong Google business profile. Anything else our listeners should be thinking about when it comes to local SEO?
Let's talk about how to use your Google business profile to get people clicking over to your website. One of the best ways is to include a link to your website right there in your profile. Now, this gets a bit technical, but stay with me. You want to use something called UTM parameters to track those clicks.
UTM parameters, gotta be honest, that sounds a little intimidating.
Don't worry, it's simpler than it sounds. UTM parameters are basically little tags you add to your URL. They tell you where your website traffic is coming from. So if you add UTM parameters to the link in your Google business profile, you can see exactly how many people are clicking on that link and visiting your website from your Google My Business listing.
So instead of just seeing that people came from Google, you can actually see how many came specifically from your Google business profile. That's some powerful info.
You got it. It helps you measure what's working and tweak your Google business profile strategy if you need to. Remember, even the best SEO strategy is always changing. But before we jump into more advanced tactics, let's talk about something that's often overlooked, but incredibly valuable: local engagement.
Ooh, tell me more about that. I have a feeling this is about more than just having a social media presence.
You're right. Think about it. Being an active part of your community isn't just good business practice. It can actually help your SEO. Partner with other local businesses, sponsor events, participate in community forums. All of these things build your reputation and generate backlinks to your website.
So it's like your offline actions are having an online impact.
Exactly. And those local backlinks are super valuable. They boost your website's authority in the eyes of search engines. Plus, it shows potential customers that you're not just some faceless company. You're a genuine part of the community.
This has been incredibly insightful. I feel like I'm starting to see the big picture of local SEO and how it's so much more than just keywords and rankings.
We've definitely covered a lot of ground here, but there's even more to uncover. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore how to use online reviews to your advantage. Make sure your business information is consistent across the web, and dive into the world of mobile optimization.
I'm ready to keep learning. It's amazing how many different factors contribute to successful local SEO. See you in part 2.
Welcome back to our deep dive into SEO for location-specific websites.
It's great to be back. I'm ready for more strategies to help businesses stand out in their local markets.
Awesome. Well, we left off talking about engaging with your local community, which brings us to another important piece of the puzzle: online reviews.
Oh yeah, online reviews. Those little stars can make or break a business's rep, right?
They totally can. Think about it. When you're looking for a new restaurant, or a hair salon, or even a dentist, what's one of the first things you do?
I definitely check out those online reviews. I want to see what other people's experiences have been like before I commit.
You and pretty much everyone else. Studies show that most people trust online reviews just as much as recommendations from friends or family. That's why building a good online reputation is so important for local businesses.
So how can they encourage more positive reviews? Any tips?
Well, the first thing is to make it super easy for customers to leave reviews. Put clear instructions on your website, maybe even a dedicated page with links to your Google business profile and other review sites. You could even create a QR code that takes them right to your review page.
Oh, that's a good idea. A QR code would be so convenient, especially for people who are already on their phones.
Right, and don't be afraid to gently remind customers that you appreciate their feedback. Just as simple. If you enjoyed your experience, we'd love it if you could leave us a review online. It can make a world of difference.
Now, what about negative reviews? They're bound to happen at some point, right? How should businesses handle those?
Negative reviews can be tough, I get it. But they're a chance to learn and grow. Never ignore a negative review. Respond quickly and professionally. acknowledge their concerns, and offer a solution if you can.
It's all about showing that you're listening and you genuinely care about their experience.
Got it. And sometimes, a negative review can even turn into a positive one if you handle it well. Potential customers who see you being responsive and committed to customer satisfaction are more likely to choose your business.
That makes sense. It's about building that trust, showing that you value your customer.
Absolutely. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about something that's often overlooked, but it's super important for local SEO, NAP consistency.
NAP consistency. Not familiar with that one. Can you break it down for us?
Sure. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. NAP consistency means making sure that info is correct, and the same across all your online platforms.
So your website, Google business profile, Yelp page, social media, online directories, everywhere your business is mentioned online.
Bingo. It might seem small, but NAP consistency matters a lot for both search engines and potential customers.
Okay, I'm starting to see why. If Google sees different versions of your business name or address on different websites, it might get confused and not rank your website as high.
Exactly. Inconsistency makes it harder for search engines to figure out that all those listings are for the same business. And for customers, it's just frustrating. They find conflicting info online. It can even make your business look less trustworthy.
So how can businesses make sure their NAP info is consistent everywhere? Any practical tips?
Yeah, the first step is to do a full audit of your online listings. Search for your business name on Google, Yelp, any other popular directory, and take note of any inconsistencies. Start by updating your Google business profile. That one's usually the most important. Make sure the info there is 100% accurate and complete. Then go through your other profiles one by one, updating each to match your Google business profile.
Sounds a bit tedious, but worth it in the long run.
It is a bit manual, but it's a fundamental thing that can really boost your visibility and credibility.
So we've got online reviews, NAP consistency. What other local SEO insights do you have for us?
Let's talk about mobile optimization. This is something people often miss, but it's more important than ever now in our mobile-first world.
I'll admit, I do most of my browsing and searching on my phone these days.
You're not alone.
Oh.
Studies show that most internet traffic comes from mobile devices now.
Yeah.
So if your website isn't optimized for mobile, you could be missing out on tons of potential customers.
So what does mobile optimized actually mean? What should our listeners be looking for?
Well, first of all, your website should be responsive. That means it automatically adjusts to any screen size. Smartphone, tablet, desktop computer, whatever.
No more pinching and zooming to read tiny text.
Exactly. A responsive website gives the smooth, user-friendly experience across all devices. You should also pay attention to your website's loading speed.
Page load speed. I've heard that's important for SEO in general.
It is. It's a ranking factor for both desktop and mobile. But it's even more crucial for mobile, because mobile connections can be slower or spotty. If your site takes forever to load, people will just leave before they even see your content.
That makes sense. So how can our listeners make their website load faster?
There are a few key things. Optimize your images. Make sure they're compressed and saved in the right format. Huge image files can slow your site way down.
Okay, that seems pretty straightforward.
You can also minify your website's code. Sounds technical, but it basically means removing any unnecessary characters from your code, which makes the file smaller and speeds things up.
That sounds more complicated. Are there tools that can help with that?
Oh, absolutely. There are plugins and online tools that can help you minify your code, even if you're not a coding expert. And finally, think about using a content delivery network, or CDN for short. A CDN is a network of servers spread out around the world. When someone visits your website, the CDN serves the content from the server closest to them, which can really make those loading times fly.
Wow, a lot to think about with mobile optimization.
It is a lot, but it's essential for any business these days. A good mobile experience can lead to more engagement, more conversions, and happier customers.
Okay, so we've covered reviews, NAP consistency, mobile optimization. What other local SEO gems do you have up your sleeve?
Let's talk about the power of visuals. In today's world, good images and videos are essential to stand out and connect with your audience.
That's true. People are overloaded with info online. A great image or video can really grab their attention.
Absolutely. And for local SEO, visuals are super powerful. Think about it. If you're looking for a restaurant, you're way more likely to click on a listing with amazing photos of their food than one with just a boring description.
Totally. I'm a visual person. Images definitely influence my decisions.
And don't forget about video. Videos are a fantastic way to showcase your products or services. Highlight your team and company culture. You could even give potential customers a virtual tour.
I love that idea. A virtual tour would be so helpful, especially for places that rely on atmosphere, like a boutique or a spa.
Right. Video brings your business to life and helps people connect with your brand on a deeper level. It's like a sneak peek before they even step foot in the door.
This has been so insightful. I'm learning so much about what makes a local SEO strategy successful.
It does have a lot of moving parts. But when you're strategic and consistent, you can get amazing results. And remember, local SEO is a marathon, not a sprint. It's an ongoing process.
So it's about staying up to date and always looking for ways to improve.
Exactly. Stay curious, experiment, and never stop learning. In the final part of our deep dives, we'll explore some even more advanced tactics, like voice search optimization and citation building, to help you really fine-tune your local SEO game plan. See you there.
Welcome back to the final part of our local SEO deep dive. I'm excited to learn even more about how to fine-tune that strategy for maximum impact.
We've covered a ton already, from website structure to the power of Google My Business, but there are a few more things I want to share today. Let's start by talking about a trend that's changing everything: voice search optimization.
Voice search is definitely getting more popular all the time. I use it constantly on my phone and smart speaker. It's just so convenient.
And here's the key. The way people search with their voice is different from how they type. Voice searches are more conversational and often include location-based phrases like "near me" or "in-city name."
So instead of typing best coffee shop, I might say, hey Siri, finding the best coffee shop near me that's open now.
Exactly. So how do you optimize for these conversational searches? One strategy is to focus on long-tail keywords.
Long tail keywords, right. Can you remind us what those are again?
Sure, they're longer, more specific phrases that people use in natural conversation. For example, instead of targeting just pizza, you might target "best pizza delivery near me" or "pizza restaurants open late in San Francisco."
So it's all about anticipating how people actually talk when they're using voice search.
Exactly. And another important thing is to make sure your website content is easy to read and understand. People using voice search often want quick answers and clear information.
Keep it simple and straightforward.
Exactly. Clear, concise, conversational language is key for voice search. And don't forget about your Google Business Profile. Make sure all your info is up to date. And think about adding a Q&A section to answer common questions potential customers might have.
That's a great idea. I use those Q&A sections myself when I'm checking out a business.
They can be really helpful for everyone. Now, while we're talking Google Business Profiles, are there any other strategies you'd recommend for optimizing them?
Absolutely. I think our listeners are really starting to see how powerful a well-optimized Google Business Profile can be.
One easy thing you can do is post updates and photos regularly. This shows Google you're active and relevant, and it keeps your profile fresh and engaging for customers.
Like you're telling Google, hey, we're here, we're busy, come check us out.
Exactly. You can also use your profile to promote special offers, new products, or upcoming events. It's a great way to get attention and drive traffic to your website or your store.
I love that. It's like a mini marketing hub right there in your Google Business Profile.
Let's move on to another important piece of local SEO: citations.
Citations, okay. Can you explain what those are and why they matter?
Sure, citations are online mentions of your business, your name, address, and phone number on other websites. And they don't even need a link back to your site.
So it's not just about backlinks anymore. It's about getting your info out there on as many websites as possible.
Exactly. Citations help build your online authority and credibility. They also make it easier for people to find you. Imagine someone searching for a plumber in their area, and they see your business info listed consistently on several reputable websites. They're going to be more likely to trust you and choose your services.
So it's like those citations are vouching for you as a legit local business.
That's a great way to put it. Now, you might be wondering where to get listed.
I was just thinking that. Are there specific websites we should target?
Tons of directories and platforms out there: Yelp, TripAdvisor, Angie's List, the Better Business Bureau, industry-specific directories.
Find the ones that make sense for your industry and audience.
Exactly. You can also check with your local Chamber of Commerce or other business organizations. They often have directories where you can list your business.
That's a great idea, supporting your community and boosting your SEO.
And remember, super important, when you're building citations, make sure your NAP info is consistent across all platforms.
NAP consistency, right. We talked about that in part 2. It sounds like it's crucial for local SEO.
Absolutely crucial. If Google sees different versions of your info, it can hurt your search rankings.
Double check everything, make sure it's all the same.
Great advice. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize one last thing. Patience and persistence are key with local SEO. You won't see results overnight, but if you keep at it, you'll start to see your website climb those rankings
Mm.
and attract more customers.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to try new things. The world of SEO is always changing, so stay up to date with the latest trends.
Well, I think our listeners have learned a ton from this deep dive. We've covered so much ground, from the basics to some really advanced strategies.
It's been great sharing these insights with you.
Thank you for joining us on this dope dive into the world of local SEO. We hope you found it helpful. Remember to subscribe to the deep dive for more explorations. Until next time, happy optimizing.